Welcome back to BLOCKTV, where it's time for Pump or Dump, where we take a look at the dominant news narratives of the week and see if we agree or disagree with the agenda, whether we pump it or dump it, in favor of another, more important narrative. And to do that, I'm joined by BLOCKTV's crack team of reporters. Of course, we start with our man with the eye on crime, Yonah Hochhauser. The tech maven herself, Aran Spitzer. And we have Zachy Hennessy, culture cretin.
Hello. And
of course, we have Whitney Deal, our regulation guru. 2 rounds of topics where we had limited time to state your case. And of course, we start with our very own Yonah. Yonah, take it away.
I believe my first topic is that everyone's talking about the Telegram Open Network launch, which will be Telegram's own blockchain. And what I think people should be focusing on is the recently uncovered security flaw in the Bitcoin's Lightning Network. Now, my issue isn't necessarily with the flaw in the network itself. Every software has flaws. That's what I want to highlight. That's exactly my point. People are pushing Telegram and putting pressure on Telegram. Hey, when's it going to launch? When is it going to launch? Forcing them to finally give a hard date of October 31st. Now, what I want to warn people is that when it comes to technologies, especially big blockchains like this, I'm in favor of slower, of not pushing things to make sure things are secure. Because what backs these systems, what makes people trust the blockchain is the security of it. And if there's flaws that could happen, like we see in the Lightning Network, that downgrades the usability, that downgrades the adoption, and that downgrades the trust in the blockchain. Now, something you might notice is that the Bitcoin, there's never really been a security flaw found in the code of Bitcoin. That's because it doesn't have smart contracts. Telegram wants to have smart contracts. By the way, that wasn't 10 seconds. That wasn't 10 seconds.
You're not given 10-second warning. You get the time and you get to know what's done. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, what do we all think? Is Yonah correct? Should we be focusing on the security flaws? Should we be focusing on Telegram Open Network?
In regards to the Telegram Open Network, I think that you make a good point in that the more that we pressure them, the more likely we are to get a shitty product because we're forcing them to
They've been
release.
working on this for like a year.
But at the same time, if we don't pressure them, there's nothing, we got to light some kind of fire under their ass. Otherwise, they're not going to come out with
I will, on a side, as a moderator's note, put in the fact that Telegram is actually contractually obliged to launch by October 31st as an element of their token sale, which they did last year. So there is an element beyond just public pressure. They have a contractual obligation for October 31.
And also, we should definitely be talking about. You didn't move on to me officially, Asher, but I will.
You take it. You take it.
But I will take it.
Take the reins.
We should definitely be talking about Telegram because they made $1.7 billion, and I think anybody who makes $1.7 billion in funding in any way should definitely feel the scrutiny of all human beings all the time, 100% of the time, because people give you your funds. And that was the series. There was an additional thing, I believe, like a private sale, if I'm not mistaken. Are you familiar?
Secondary market
Right.
sales.
So there was a second. They're racking in the cash. They're making huge promises. It's surrounded by secrecy. There's so much controversy with Telegram. Lightning Network, all power to it. If it works, great. It's a second layer something or other, and hopefully that works. And it's fantastic, but we should definitely be talking about Telegram.
But to give credit to our dear crime friend Yonah, the Lightning Network is something that exists. It's tangible. It's out there. Why should we be talking about the promises of Telegram in the future when Lightning Network exists now and a flaw exists? Whitney, what are your thoughts?
I think that we need to be talking about it also for regulation. Mm-hmm. Think about it in a because of the secrecy that Aran was talking about. They haven't mentioned anything to regulators, and I do think that we should be talking about the Telegram network because there's so many implications also with that.
But what's the difference between Facebook and let's say Time? What's the difference?
I'm going to shut down this fruitful debate and we're going to move on because we have so much ground to cover here. We're going to turn it over to Whitney, our regulation guru. Take it away. 1 minute. Your time starts now.
Everyone's talking about, of course, Libra. Maxine Waters released a new a calendar that Congress is going to continue to talk about regulating Libra. Everybody should actually be talking about Portugal being a tax-free crypto haven. Because taxes have been a hot issue as of late between the U.S. and the U.K., sending out letters to crypto holders that their holdings are subject to tax. These initiatives, they basically laugh in the face of crypto morals, the anarchical ideals and the anonymity. But Portugal's tax authority has clarified that both cryptocurrency trading and payments in crypto will not be taxed in the country, which is set to make it a crypto haven, probably even bigger than that of let's say the United Arab Emirates. And the Portuguese authority states that the exchange for crypto for fiat is free of VAT, value-added tax, adding that crypto users do not have to pay any income tax on it.
Oof.
Wow.
So who's getting their Portuguese citizenship organized? Yeah.
I've been trying for years anyway. So.
And let's also remember Portugal inside the EU. We're talking access to the entire European free market here. I mean, guys, screw Libra. Is this what we should be talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
an
amazing.
emphatic yes.
I mean, if what she's saying is true, I mean, I haven't read up on this, but if there's going to be no tax on crypto holdings in Portugal, including crypto earnings, just shift all your money to a Portugal exchange and take it out there.
It's not just that there are no taxes, it's that the government has confirmed that there will be no taxes, right? Because like in the US, there's no taxes yet, right? As far as I'm aware.
No, there's heavily taxed capital gains tax.
Forget what I said.
It's like ultra tax.
My point being, if the government specifically is saying, yo, there ain't taxes, that's kind of like a big deal.
Well,
rather than just be like, you know, it's
not
there's
money
no
in the waters.
taxes
They've cleared
yet.
the waters and they've agreed not to
They haven't
tax.
cleared the
I think that's the point that our friend
you know,
Zachy was trying to make.
you get
help
me.
him facilitate.
I mean, look, I forgot my Portuguese to English dictionary, but I think that basically from the translation that I did of the document, because it's all in Portuguese, it states that cryptocurrency or virtual currency is not technically considered a currency because it does not have legal or liberatory power in Portugal. However, they may be exchanged with the exception of in real currency.
So no, it was way better before she gave us that
Oh, clarifying maybe. Gosh, don't bog us down.
It was a nice idea.
But think about it.
No
VAT.
All right.
No,
Fruitful
it was
discussion
all
will have to
good until
continue
that moment.
online after the debate here, after the pump or dump discussion, because in the meantime, we must move to Culture Cretin. Zachy Hennessy over here, please break down what we pump and what we dump. 1 minute.
I'll tell you. I got my trusty dusty notebook here. So here's the thing. Everybody's talking about Binance's lending service. You may have heard about it. You yourself, Mr. Astor Westrup Evans, tried to sign up for that business right as they started. And 16 seconds after they opened, they were full up.
16 seconds is generous as well. That was
right.
a speedy 16
At most,
seconds.
16 seconds. Now, what's the deal with that? It's a publicity stunt. It's probably a scam. Ain't nobody even got in on it, but hella bots is what I've written. I don't know why I wrote. Anyway, here's what we should talk about instead. Telegram's open network. It is coming out because of social pressure, because of contractual obligation. It's coming out on October 31st, just in time to make a spooky appearance. And it's going to take over the social crypto space by empowering privacy. It's going to allow, you know, for greater anonymity, and not only for the easy transfer of information anonymously, but as well as the transfer of money, which is real fucking cool.
All right, riddle me this, and I want to throw this over to you, Iran. October 31st, potentially the day that the UK bombs out of the EU in a brutal no-deal Brexit. The same day Telegram Open Network kicks off. Is the UK going to become the new hub for Telegram? And it all seems to line up.
Probably
if I'm putting
not.
lines together, finding
Probably
triangles.
not. Sorry to disappoint, but it's what everybody's hoping. Maybe the dates are coinciding. Zachy, but you chose two very major, like you chose Binance and then you chose Telegram Open Network. It's like, can we not talk about everything?
No, fuck it.
No, this is pump or dump. We pump one thing, we
But
dump
we
another.
can't dump Binance because they're Binance. Although their Twitter game lately has been a bit annoying.
Yo, their Twitter game don't
they've
even
really
get me
been like,
started.
you're gonna do a quiz, and then you click, and then you're disappointed. It's not about my knowledge.
I don't know who
But
Binance's
dumping
social media manager is,
but-
but they need to get their ass in gear.
But I agree, we should be talking about the Telegram Open Network. There was also, they were very blatantly now, I'm sorry that I cut you off, but they're very blatantly now saying we're going to be the new Ethereum, like really straight up, and it's all out there. So we got to know stuff.
Plus, I'll tell you who is on Zachy's side is the, and as per my criminal beats, I've in the past reported about a thing called Telegrass, which is an app kind of developed on the Telegram system that allows for the purchase of cannabis. It connects cannabis dealers and buyers, and if with the ability to actually pay for this cannabis, you know, in the Telegram app itself.
Easy peasy,
This
no
could
more
be
scary dead
a
drops.
cannabis haven
Yeah.
for users all around.
You don't have to go into the park and say, which trash can?
As Zachy well knows, spending a lot of time in trash cans. The man has much experience in that, but we don't have time to discuss such things because, of course, we've got to go to our tech maven, Iran, to break down her pump or dump. 1 minute.
Yes.
Take it away.
So last week there was a lot of FOMO going on. I'm pretty sure that we straight up knocked down the price of Bitcoin just with all the FOMO and the FUD going on in the sphere in general.
Here at BLOCKTV specifically?
Well, no, it's not all on us. But I mean, I think the space as a whole last week was really kind of knocking down. Now, what we should be talking about is the fact that R3, a fintech firm, partnered with R3. Now, the whole point of this partnership, this company is called WeFac. It's not that important, but we might as well give them the light of the day. They're kind of working to develop, they're working to develop Sharia-compliant market platform with basically the goal of kind of revamping how the Middle East works at large. And this is for issuing and trading sukuk securities. For anybody who's not familiar, as I was not, because it's not something that I would think to know about, but it's a kind of a type of bond. And the whole thing is that the sphere is generally, it's not all inclusive apparently because of things like this. So it's nice to know that companies like R3, even though people are against them, are working towards that. I'm sorry, I stole a second.
You did steal a second. I'm deducting points, which I have given and then deducted. But regardless, inclusivity in the sphere, Whitney, is that what we should be focusing? FOMO, inclusivity? Where does your tendency lie?
Inclusivity, because I would like to see, what's going to go on with mass adoption and all the regulation between all the countries, because regulation's my thing. But I want to know, how does this work? The Sharia, I don't understand.
So there are specific requirements. This is from what I gather. Yes, we should all know about this more. But basically, there are specific requirements that you need. The sukuk securities thing is not easy peasy. People generally have an issue with it. So then, if you're considering crypto, where people don't have a lot of familiarity, anyway, just to give this to you straight up, Stellar is the only apparently 100% Sharia compliant cryptocurrency.
But how do they figure out what's Sharia
and that's Ripple backed, by the way.
Compliant?
That's already not me.
That's really curious.
We do need to dig
It's
more
like getting
into
an
that.
approval. It needs to be approved, recognized within the banking structures.
I think it's
of
blessed
the
by the
Islamic
rabbi,
world.
isn't that
And
how it
then-
works?
Well, not rabbis in Sharia.
I believe that R3 is a German manufacturer that creates condoms.
No.
And on that note,
I don't know who
on
I'm
that
buying
note,
from.
we take it to round two, with round one closing us out. I'm sad to say we've ended on that particular note, but we're going to take it into round two, where things are going to get higher, more falutin, and higher falutin. So, of course, we start with the most highfalutin man I know, our man with the eye on crime, Yonah Hochhauser. Take us, Ralph, with your round two.
Not sure what falutin means, but a lot of people have been talking about Hamas or other terror organizations using Bitcoin to fund their activities. And what I want to focus on is, you mentioned that Stellar is one of the only Sharia law compliant cryptocurrencies. Not anymore, it's not.
Oh, really?
So Ethereum has now been given the halal certification by the Amani Group, which is a Islamic group that gives Sharia certification and financial advice. So the reason that what does that mean? It's not. I thought it was just a kind of like a newsmaker that this coin got Sharia certification. It's actually, according to the religion, it's against the Islamic religion to earn profit off interest. And
Usury.
Yeah, and so that's why most cryptocurrencies are not Sharia compliant, because they're not considered physically backed. But Ethereum is considered a utility token and considered physically backed, and therefore allowed to be used by Muslims. By the way, there's 1.8 Muslims in the world. Talk about mass adoption.
1.8 billion, I assume
Can
you
I
mean,
ask
not
a
just
question?
1.8
Yes,
Muslims.
I believe it's correct.
You may ask a question.
You said something and then it's gone.
Okay, and it's gone, so we'll go to someone with some more views on the matter. Zaki, I mean, what are your views on the access? We're continuing the theme of Islamic banking. What are your views on the access to the Islamic world?
Yeah, what have you done Islamic banking, exactly?
I think that everybody should be allowed to bank. I think that everybody, listen, the more accessibility there is, the better. I think that this is really cool, that there are people who care enough. First of all, that there are Islamic groups who care enough about crypto that they're willing to put in the effort to see if there's a way that they can get involved with it according to their religion.
Like
And
Hamas.
also, from the other side, I think that it's cool that there are cryptocurrencies that are willing, well, not willing, but that are built and constructed in such a way, even if coincidentally, that these people are able to access and use them. That's what I think.
And now I remember my question. Just wait. Is it broken down by like the types of tokens? So is it only the utility tokens?
They said the
ERC
Ethereum
security tokens.
They
are
said
they
Ethereum.
considered?
I don't know if it extends the ERC20. I would think it does, because by
yeah,
definition, the
'cause it's
ERC20
Our
should
crypto
be utility.
kitties halal? That's the
To
question.
eat? I'm not sure. We have to find out.
I assume not, but I want to turn this over to our regulation guru, who will not have time to comment. But fortunately, she gets the
I had a
next
good
word.
one. All
She has
right.
the next word, as it is her
Say it at the
second round
beginning.
of pump or dump. You can use this 1 minute as you will, but I recommend you use it quickly.
Okay,
Take
fine.
it away.
Fine. All right. Everyone's talking about Craig Wright and having to, hand over 50% of his Bitcoin. Who the fuck cares? He's really annoying. Anyway. Yeah, but staying in the realm of crypto taxes, miles away from the Iberian Peninsula, I see what you're doing, Jonas. Stop it. The Ministry of Economy of Kyrgyzstan has submitted the draft law on amending the tax code with the aim of introducing cryptocurrency mining taxation, which is interesting because back in 2014, they actually banned cryptocurrencies in the nation. But the taxation, it's ironic though, because they have around 80,000 technical devices that allow for cryptocurrency mining. So the tax they're looking into putting an income tax on it, as well as taxing expenses incurred during cryptocurrency mining, because as we know, it's very expensive to mine, takes a lot of resources. So reports suggest that the government stands to earn nearly 4.2 million, which is incredibly significant because they only make 1 billion.
Wow.
Annual
Wow.
budget.
So some key developments being made. I mean, is this not the power of cryptocurrency mining to take small countries with relatively limited economies, diversify them, diversify their energy potential, get some renewable projects going maybe? I mean, is this what we should be talking about? Or is Craig Wright just still the news that drives the sphere? Come on.
Yeah, I'm behind straight up dumping Craig Wright because he's lame, dude. He sucks. He's boring and stupid. I think that this is actually pretty cool. But it brings to mind, I believe it was Syndrome who said, when everyone's super, no one will be. And you can extrapolate that a little bit and say, when everyone is a Bitcoin mining country, no one is, right? So eventually that bar just gets raised universally, assuming mass adoption.
Okay, with Zaki's interesting interpretation of economics, Yona, what do you think about this? Is this empowering small nations to small Central Asian nations of around 6 million people to take on?
Well, I'm a free market type of guy, so I do agree in the stability. This is something unique, and I think crypto mining uniquely targets countries that have low electricity costs. And so that does give an advantage to a lot of these countries that can't find other ways to build up the economies. But now with Portugal charging zero taxes, I think I might go to Portugal and open up a mining facility.
It's warmer.
You with me? Who's with
It's
me?
warmer.
Yes, but how many steps does it have?
We
Because there's
were
many more
buzzed,
steps
man.
on Kyrgyzstan.
We were
buzzed.
buzzed.
That is true. You
lose
killed me to
points.
account. I lose points.
You
I'll
lose
take points for
20
myself.
points.
And just for that, Zaki, it gets to be your turn for round 2.
I'm
Take it
keeping
away.
you honest, and that's why I get my turn. All right, go ahead and start it. All right, here we go. Everybody's talking about how nowadays altcoins seem to be dying out. Litecoin's going down. Everyone says Ripple's going down. Tether's going down. Blah 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 blah. So it's inevitable. Okay, some say. Do I believe it? I don't know. But everybody's talking about how these altcoins are going to die out, and it's sad for those affected. What I think we should be talking about instead is to pump Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance, and I'll explain why. It's a new series on Netflix that is a prequel series to the 1982 Jim Henson classic, The Dark Crystal, and it tells the tale, a better tale of inevitable defeat at the hands of an all-powerful leader. Instead of watching Bitcoin drain the energy from the altcoins, we could instead watch the Skeksis betray the Gelflings and drain their life essence, thereby acquiring immortality. It's the ultimate story of good versus evil and one thing reigning over all.
Zaki, I want to thank you so much for teaching me how long a minute can really feel. But in the meantime, do we all agree, we'll say with the overarching sentiment of Zaki perhaps, that we talk too much about the death of some shitcoins, some altcoins, whatever it may be?
I think only the strong should survive, and so if the altcoins aren't strong enough, if they're not backed by value enough, if they're not providing value enough, they deserve to die. Only the strong survive.
Okay, and the Gelflings?
No, the Gelflings, they're done for. I don't know if you've seen the original movie, but I think we all know how it ends.
Aran, what are your thoughts?
No, we still have to talk about the dying altcoins. We're all still sour from the ICOs, and regulators are mad, and kind of so are we a little bit. So we have to just keep talking about it until we're over it.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
A quick one. I wasted so much.
For all and sundry, Zaki does in fact have an ongoing contract with Netflix. He is shilling for them.
Sponsored by Netflix,
yeah.
all of this.
Now, of course, to round us out for round 2 and take the day away, we have tech maven Oran Spitzer finish us off.
So everybody was talking about, actually Whitney mentioned this before, everybody was talking about the reps coming back, the US reps coming back after trying to understand FINMA and what's going on in Switzerland in general in regard to Libra. Let's be real, it was just a nice glorified vacation. I hope they enjoyed themselves, it's a beautiful place. But to more important things, as they can't stop that, it was reported, the block crypto specifically, it was reported by Quartz as well, but nearly 10% of India's richest investors are looking to increase allocation to cryptocurrency. Now, it's no secret that India hates crypto. This was in the news big time a couple of months ago with banning and what's going to happen with it, and people just generally don't want to use it because of all those things. But now this is saying that the top five places in which people are choosing to allocate their money is real estate, stocks, fixed income, cryptocurrency, and art. Now, cryptocurrency being there is absolutely fantastic, but kind of anywhere, the other things is simply because people, I couldn't even finish my sentence, sorry guys.
But I'm gonna understand your sentiment that, India has been a home for entrepreneurship for many decades now. Now they're turning to the cryptocurrencies. This is a public versus private battle that's taking place.
Well, I'm taking back my second because Yona bothered me, but basically the ending point was that India is a huge platform for remittances market, which is why places like platforms like WhatsApp choose to direct their tests in India.
Too true. And I won't deduct points because of the chicanery that was going on around you.
There was.
But instead I'll ask, look, we continue to focus on the US, and I think this is a question best put to Whitney, on the US representatives, their mullings of crypto and what's going on. Of course, they're the world's biggest market, potentially, they have all
they're dragging their feet.
They're dragging their feet.
And the problem is they're going to put the US very far behind. And also with this news with India, we're screwed. We're screwed. If reps really don't make a decision soon, think about how big India is, how the populace, and also China and all these other, developing nations or these other.
Well, but that's the thing with the population of India, they're not developing cryptocurrency. They're not getting into that market as much as they should, and it's the prime place in which that could be a huge difference.
But if these richest investors really take off and they really start to put their money into crypto, it's going to become a thing, and the US is just going to fall further and further behind.
And I want to open this up to you, Yona. This public versus private sort of battle that's going on here, should we have been focusing on what governments are doing? At the end of the day, crypto is a private, individual-led enterprise in the decentralized sense. Do you think that that's what we should be focusing on when it comes to India?
Well, I think you're exactly right. At the end of the day, regulators could do and say whatever they want, but cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, they're decentralized. And whatever the government says, they can only control within their jurisdiction, onboarding and offboarding. They cannot control at all or affect at all the exchange of Bitcoin to Bitcoin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for. We've gone through 2 full rounds. We've pumped, we've dumped, we've seen what's valuable, and we've seen what isn't. I want to thank our crack team. We've got Yona Hochhauser, Oran Spitzer, Zaki Hennessy, and Whitney Deal. Our crack team reporters will be back again next week with more to pump and dump. And in the meantime, I'm Ashley Westrop Evans. This is BLOCKTV. Thanks for watching.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.